XBI episode. I am your host, the sexy one, the crazy
Lou.
one. What's
Wait,
up?
what the hell are you wearing? Are you
Hey.
playing PUBG? Are you playing PUBG?
What? No.
That looks like something out of PUBG.
Guys, I think so. Okay, here we go. We just hopped on. Okay, I was like, whoa. All right, what do I look like? What am I wearing? The thing is, you said we were going to hit the slopes. We're going snowboarding. So yeah, I put on some gear. I put on my glasses, my
First of all,
my face mask, and my helmet.
I'm guessing it never snows in the Dominican Republic because you have no clue on how to dress for snowboarding. That looks like you're either a skin on Call of Duty or like some bootleg PUBG character.
I look like a what? A skin of Call of Duty and a bootleg what? No, man. I mean, this is snowboarding gear. Look, I got the helmet. I got the thing for the snow, and I got my glasses because you got to wear these glasses, right, in order to snowboard, right?
I thought we were getting ready to play Ghost Recon.
Yeah, Wildlands.
Oh man, seriously? I thought this is appropriate gear for snowboarding, but oh well. What can we do?
I mean, you got it wrong last week. First, you were Elton John last week. And now you're some PUBG character. I don't even know who you are. Are you NPC number 1?
What? But you guys were said we're going shredded. So yeah, put on my snowboard gear. I mean, this is a helmet for snowboarding, isn't it? Look, it says it's DOT. It's dot.
Yeah.
It's dot.
Yeah,
isn't it dot?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You look like, you know what? You look like the guy from Take on Me, the video. The people that are chasing him in the bikes.
Oh, the guy that goes, take
no, not him. The other ones.
No, the other ones. The people chasing him. No.
But
you don't look like the guy singing. No.
But I do look like the guy from Take
Hey, Crazy.
On Me,
you might want to take the mask off to stop scaring the people in the chat that you're scaring away.
Looking like my mask off real quick.
Looking like PUBG.
Oh,
right.
My mask is off. Hertog, so
I angered Hertog.
Yeah.
What do you mean anger Hertog? Why is he angry? He says, ha, happy B-Day Eskimo Louie. What?
I told everyone today's your last episode and it's your birthday. And Tony Grasso says, yeah, he's Dominican. He knows as much about snowboarding as Florida. My rear.
What do you mean this is my last episode, man? You're trying to kick me out?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Nobody kicking you out?
What? Oh, man. Wait, you guys had a meeting without me and said that you all going to kick me out now?
We can't kick out the talent.
Yeah. You were the star. We cannot.
But you know what? Since, Hard Talk Vin is here, can you just put this guy in timeout, Crazy Lou? He deserves it. He has the one coming. Put him out. The first time out. There you go. This is the
Why do you want to put me on timeout though? Why?
You know what you did, and we're not going to repeat it.
What did I do though? I just put on. We were going shredding. You guys,
you got him.
It's going to be the shredding episode.
It's nothing personal. What? It's for the best of. It's for the best.
What do you mean it's for the best?
While we have Crazy Lou on timeout, gentlemen, how you been? Silent Cypher, what's up, man? I see you playing Forza in real life with that new whip. What's up? How you been, man? What you been playing?
I am, yeah. So I've been playing the real life simulator, right? Of getting a car and adulting and doing all that fun stuff. God, I wish I could say that I had played a bunch of games this week, but I only played a little bit of Fortnite with my son. Like I said, I bought a car. That's about all the games I've been playing. I've been playing the lone games and the Fortnite games. That's about it.
Nice.
What you been up to?
Not much. Before I talk about what I'm doing, I know Crazy Lou was time out. Let's throw it over to Sablo. Sablo, man, what you been up to, man? How you been? Nice. Oh, I'm excited to know what you think about it. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I guarantee you won't play it by next week because it'll be too hard, just like you walk away from Elden Ring.
Oh.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm playing Barbie's Horse Adventure." Yeah. Nice. Yeah, no, I've been good. I've been happy. I got my
guys,
ID at Xbox, and I got my my little nice Indie 2022 that the
guys, Sour Blow is muted. He's talking He's
No, what do you mean? Sour Blow was muted. I heard
Oh
him.
yes, I was muted
Oh.
He was muted.
in the podcast.
Oh.
Oh man.
Well, you know what? Sour Blow, we'll get
Sour
back to you, but here's gonna do.
Yeah.
You're gonna give yourself a timeout now. And like I was saying, give yourself a timeout. Go.
Sour one is
And,
now the muted one.
So yeah, no, I have this nice indie shirt. I'm excited. I finally got to play some games. It's been a busy week at work. It's been a busy week with life. I got to jump into some Elden Ring. I've also been excited because I've been playing some cool games on Game Pass. One of the ones that I'm gonna talk about later is called Young Souls, but we'll get into that on the recommendations we have for Game Pass. But I'm excited that Tunic finally came out. It's been a while, and I'm just ready to jump in and kind of explore that world with that little cool fox. Besides that, I did something, guys. I did a 180, like I did with Gears of War Judgment. So I don't know if you guys heard of a game called Strangers of Paradise, a Final Fantasy Origin game. So I downloaded the last demo because the first one was kind of rough, and I couldn't stop playing the demo, and I pushed the buy button. So I'm gonna be committing myself to some crazy Final Fantasy 80s character motifs. Actually, it was funny because when I saw Crazy Lou, I thought he bought the game because he looked like one of the characters dressed in that video game. But Strangers of Paradise, Crazy Lou Gaming.
Okay.
But anyway, back to you now, Crazy Lou. What's up, man? How you been? What you been playing?
You know what I've been playing, man. I've been so busy with that Elden Ring. I mean, I think I should play the Resident Evil and stream it because I know some guy's gonna love me playing Resident Evil. That's her talk because he loves seeing me play scary games because I jump out, all scared and stuff. So I should play that Resident Evil 8 just to get through with it because all I know is that Elden Ring for me, I'm gonna last like how long? I've been playing it for now 40 hours now. And I'm not even halfway of the game, and I'm 40 hours in it. So I know that in Elden Ring, I'll probably put like 200 hours into it. Probably, it's a long game. It's fun. It's awesome.
Just don't go back and play Resident Evil Code Veronica because you'll be scared of how bad that game is.
Yes, I agree. I would never play Code. I'll be
honest. How about both of you shut your mouth? Actually,
what are we
you have no clue. You have no clue.
You've
never played it.
Yes,
we have
never
played it. No, you have not.
I had the Dreamcast version, and I remember when I beat it. I remember that I got to use the best part of the game was when you get Chris Redfield and you face Wesker. That's the best part. But
I think the best part was when I flipped over the CDs and used them as coasters.
No. You guys are starting with some hate here, and like I said before, say what you want to say. It's one of the goats of Resident Evil. And I'm going to say right now, I cannot wait to see both of you at Capcom headquarters protesting with Miles Dampier when they remake this game. I cannot wait to see you guys there. I'm just going to be laughing, and I'll be playing Code Veronica.
Hey, hold on a second. I hope they do a remake so they can fix the old one and make it better.
Yeah, honestly.
They are going to fix the controllers. They are going to fix the controllers. So that is one thing that needs to be modernized, the controllers, and why not, right? The tank controllers are not that good anymore.
No.
So I'm glad that they did that. So good try, though. Good try there, Crazy Lou. Good try,
hey, I'll be honest.
So I got a question for you, Joanna. I got a quick question.
What's up?
Quick question. So, if they change the game up, like besides the mechanic, they changed the story and everything. That means the game wasn't so good.
No, they're trying to do what they did with. So if you look at what they did with Resident Evil Remake 2 and Resident Evil Remake 3, they cut some content out, and of course, I wish some of the content was from RE3 in there, but they're trying to kind of retell the story and make it more cohesive, even though,
Right.
I don't think you can put logic into a Resident Evil story to an extent, zombies and all these things. But I know what you all three are trying to do, and it's not going to work.
What?
No. I'm gonna ask you a quick question now. Which is better, the old Resident Evil 2 or the remake of Resident Evil 2?
So that's a loaded question because the original 2 was great. Now,
Yeah, I know,
modernized
absolutely,
is better. Is better. Why? Because of the controls.
No.
But
You're not
it's
answering.
two different eras.
You're not answering my question though. Look. Okay, I'm talking about the two Resident Evil games, right? Resident Evil 2, the old one, which we all know, loved and played. I mean, I beat that game 500 times. I loved it, and now we got the new one, and which I played and loved it too. But
I love the new one. I love the new one because.
But I'll be honest though, the new
it's
one
reimagined to technology right now.
The new one for me is a lot more stressful than the old one, especially when that Mr. X comes after you. That is so stressful, man. That is the most stressing sound of every time you're like running and you hear the doom, 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 doom. You're like, oh crap,
Dude,
run! I
you
mean,
know
it's
what you
incredible.
do?
Yeah,
You know what you do? You just run to that game save. You run to that save room, so that way he doesn't
Yeah,
follow you anymore.
but the thing is, you got to run around the whole house while he's chasing you, and you got to do stuff.
Look at Sabo. He's like, I've never played those games because I'm too afraid.
Yep.
He's trying to keep
he
quiet.
is. Yep, he's got to keep quiet. He's too scared of that. Yep.
He's like, I want to go. I'm gonna go play
muted.
Super Lucky's Tale. I want to go play Super Lucky's Tale.
You can't play that game, man.
Super Lucky's Tale.
Well, anything driving or vehicle based is a survival horror in general. Just watching them play.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. And when we play Shredders tomorrow, man. Wait, not tomorrow, on Friday. Oh my God, we get some bad stuff is gonna happen.
Oh, when I beat you guys, don't say anything.
So to the chat, Sour Blow's definition of beating is causing an avalanche and just having us just fall through the game. That's what his definition is. Not actually winning. It's just causing chaos and breaking the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
I
agree.
Hard Talk Vin has great taste. He's a man of great taste. He says it right there. He says
Hard Talk Vin is just messing with you. No, he's just trying to get you to. Yeah, he's just trying to get you to feel better because we ganged up on you.
Yeah, he does.
Don't worry. It's fine.
Like I said, when I get that remake, it's going to be great.
Anyway, let me get through quickly what I've been playing. I've been playing Elden Ring. I've been exploring.
You're muted again, dude.
No, I'm not. I've been playing. I beat It Takes Two. I beat Contrast, the compulsion game, and I'm currently playing Dishonored, and I started playing a little bit of Tunic today. So
nice. Yes. How do you like in Tunic? How much have you played?
I played. Well, you can't really. It's hard to like know.
Well,
where
15 minutes.
Really.
Or
about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before the show. Just got from home from work, and I wanted to try it out at least.
Nice.
Yeah, that was actually pretty neat that they put that game on Game Pass. I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot. I watched this like but now since this is in Game Pass, like let me try it. I'm interested right now in trying it. I'll give it a shot.
Can I start the show with a quick question about that about Tunic? Okay. Go ahead. The developer was asked if the game was coming to Game Pass, and he said no. And now the game comes day one to Game Pass. Do you guys think it had to do with maybe at the time, the deal wasn't set and done, or was it, he was like kind of like wanted to keep the secret, or what are your guys' thought on that?
I think it's probably twofold, right? Announcing this close to the launch means that you definitely want to probably try and get some of those sales in hopes that you'll get some purchases on the game before it goes to Game Pass. But also, I'm guessing the ink wasn't all the way dry. But at the same time, I mean, it feels like it was going that way, right? Because this thing's been promoted and shown off for a long time on the Xbox side of things.
The thing is, real quick, I tried since last night. I was trying to go in and get it, Tunic, because I was actually
it wasn't even on the store.
I was going to buy it, and it wasn't even on the store. Even this morning, I checked. So
and I wonder if that's part of it. If they had the placeholders and stuff for purchase now with discount from Game Pass or try for free on Game Pass if they just had that page ready and they just dropped it instead of, adjusted it accordingly.
Or it can be something of, this show was already planned and, maybe you don't want to do that. Or again, we've seen games that either way were coming to Game Pass shows were there, but who knows? Maybe at the last minute. I mean, you can still save 20% off if you want to buy the game and own it. Right. So that's another nice thing. And there's people that still, even though it comes to Game Pass, purchases the games. So, it's great whether this came at the last minute or not. Like Herzog Vin said, Phil Spencer showed up with money bags and said, hey, let's go. His little feather cap. Listen, he said, what does the fox say? Money, right? But it's great that we got on the service. And it just, again, it shows the value of Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
That we have all types of game. We have some niche games that can be in there. I'm excited for one game that came out, which is called Paradise Killer, because I'm a big Danganronpa fan and like those little visual novels, So to get a game like Tunic that's getting great reviews, saying that it's another masterpiece in the sense of games, it's exciting, especially like I said, right? What are those games to kind of excite you? Everything's been kind of a little bit, quiet per se on the Xbox side. We've had some great things with, of course, Elden Ring, which is multi-plat. Sony side, you had Horizon Forbidden West, which is another one, and then you have Tokyo Ghostwire coming out later on this month, and then GTA 7 as well. So it's nice that this is a game that said, hey, available now, and people that are in the service, whether you're on PC or Xbox, can just jump in and start playing. So again, a great get. What about you, Crazy?
Wait, what? Sorry about that. What again?
About Tunic. No, we're not talking about PUBG. We're talking about Tunic. What did you think? What do you think that, did you think this was a last minute thing? Like Silent Cypher was saying about maybe the ink wasn't dry and maybe they said, hey, you know what? Phil Spencer would throw in a little kiss.
I think this was purposely done. I think they said no at the beginning just to say no and just to surprise people here, because again, like what Sourblue was saying, the game was put on store today, which is really weird. I mean, I'll give another example. I've been trying to download Shredder since yesterday. I've been trying to get it to download it, and it's still not in the store yet, not even to buy or anything. So yeah, it's gonna be put on tomorrow, probably the same day. So I think,
it also helps in case people want to request a refund. It's not a process where they have to request refunds, and just it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, but I'll be honest with you, it's a great game. I mean, for what I've seen, and it's something that if you bought it, keep it to your collection, because it's worth buying it and having it in your own collection. It's one of those games you gotta buy and just have it for your collection. I mean, that's my recommendation if you want to buy it. But if you don't, then yeah, get your money back and play it on Game Pass. But for me, it was a surprise last minute thing, of course. They wanted to surprise people with that. That's what I feel. Because they're usually teasing us around with this Game Pass thing. I mean, it always keeps us guessing, like what's gonna come, what's gonna happen, what's this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, something comes in like, wow, I didn't expect this. So yeah, I think it was a surprise.
Hardtalk Vin said that Starfield was most likely gaming. That's why he was muted. Hardtalk. No, not really. If anything, that just shows you that Sourblue is really good at improvising, because that's how he plays Star Citizen. So you might have thought he's in this. That's a Star Citizen look when he looks like he's playing, because there's nothing there. So
he's a master at that D&D. He's got the imagination skills through the roof.
I know, right? Oh, Crazy! What's up, man? Are we ready for the so-called TC TSA checkup, or the pat down you like calling it?
Oh, we don't have pat down on that though, because we don't have a guest though, so we don't get to pat down or strip search people.
No.
Don't put me on a time.
Sourblue, time out. There we go. You know what? Hey, chat. First of all, chat. If you want Crazy Lou to get a timeout, please put in the chat timeout. Timeout, Lou.
We could also just put a vote up.
You're gonna see the whole chat ramp up and say timeout Lou, timeout Lou, timeout Lou. You'll see everybody will say it.
Yeah, so put him on there, Sourblue.
He's on timeout.
Put him on that timeout.
I think one or two people will fight for you, but I think most of them are gonna send you the timeout box.
That's Joanne as always.
I'm starting it.
Oh, you're gonna put a poll? Oh man, not again.
No.
Oh yeah.
Thank God. Box and Burger is always with us in spirit.
Yes.
There he is. Timeout Lou. Everyone's saying it. There you go. Hashtag timeout Lou.
No, that. You need 20 more. This is such a messy.
But Hard Talk had 10 today. Stuff Sean called it today. We had a little thing going today on the midweek mix-up podcast, and we got to 10. So Stuff Sean had to, predicted correctly. So
what? So I missed that today. Oh man, I'll be there. I gotta be on time next time. Yes.
They should revoke your moderator privileges for not being there.
Oh, that's
they can revoke it and give it to me. I'll hang out. I'll do your job.
Oh, you do my job? Okay.
But I guess before we get into the gist of the show, let's give a shout out to the people in the chat.
Yeah, let's do a shout out. Yeah, of course. Let's start off first with who's here. Jay Vargas is always here. As always, my brother Jay Vargas. Welcome, my brother Tony Grasso here too. Oh man, Grasso, I love you, brother. Thank you for being here. And also, again, look who's back. Hard Talk Vin, who's been bullying us all night, especially me, because he's always having fun with me. And every time I play those scary games, he's there laughing at me. I'm telling you, I was playing Last of Us, and that dude was just laughing all night watching me play. Seriously, he was just laughing. And so who else is here besides Tony Grasso and all these awesome guys? Let me see. Jay Vargas going down.
We got Eternal Umbra. Eternal Umbra's here from Xbox Infinite.
I'm getting there. Eternal Umbra from Xbox Infinite. Welcome, Eternal Umbra. Oh, my shovel brother, Stuff Sean. Which he's always got his shovel in hand in case you all pick on me. He's going to beat y'all's butt. Who else? Is here. Oh, we're all set. I think I said hello to everybody. So yeah, now it's time, I think, for
shout out to the lurkers as well. Shout out to the lurkers.
Yeah.
Shout out to the lurkers who are here. Hey, lurkers, say hi at least to the chat. Say, hey, what's up? We're pretty cool.
So then they wouldn't be lurkers.
I don't want to make them feel bad because they're not saying anything. If they want to lurk, they lurk. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope Mrs. Crazy's lurking so she can throw the
Why would she throw the chancleta? I'm all dressed up nicely. I'm not wearing weird stuff on my head like the other day.
What do you mean? You came out looking like you're in PUBG.
What do you mean?
You came out looking like Call of Duty Mobile. We're now sponsored by Call of Duty Mobile.
Look, I'm gonna put it back on so everybody can see. You guys said we're going snowboarding, so I put on my snowboarding gear on to go snowboarding.
It looks like we're going snowboarding in Ghost Recon.
Yeah. In the desert or something.
So guys, I think now it's time to get our sexy stewardess, Mr. Joanna Dark, to take care of the in-flight entertainment.
Thank you, Crazy Lou, as always. Yes. Yeah, so I think we have some good news. News has been slow. Let's just say that, right? Yeah. But we got some cool news. Today we're going to be talking about that new behind the scenes episode 2 made for the Wanderers. We got me excited. Put it this way. I was excited about Starfield, but after watching that video, it took me to that Elden Ring hype. To the point I was like, oh my God. Then we're going to talk about, of course, Tencent acquires a majority stake in Tequila Works. EA Live. We're going to talk about that. Then we're also going to give you some nice Xbox Game Pass flight recommendations. Games that you want to maybe play wherever you are, whether cloud, Xbox Series S, X, PC. And then our main topics, of course, the big one, which has to do with, the so-called, Fast and the Furious exits from Perfect Dark. A new position that opened up within Xbox called the Lead Talent Program Manager for Xbox Game Studios, which I think correlates very well with what we're going to talk about Perfect Dark. And then finally, we're definitely going to cover this ID at Xbox Twitch event. Get your guys' thoughts on some of the games. What do you think? What do you thought about the event? How do you think this event can continue to improve? I think that it was a little bit of an improvement from what we've seen, but there's still more ways to kind of make this event a little bit, I guess, go faster and all of that. We'll get into those things. But yes. I guess with to kind of cover something we covered last week that just kind of, came in and broke in, we like everyone else, right? We want to call things that we want to improve when it comes to developers and their workplace, crunch and all that. And we always definitely want to make sure we also talk about those topics when it comes to some of the things that are still going on in the industry when it comes to widespread, discrimination and sexual harassment. So, last week we talked about this, and it was about the alleged sexism that was going on at Sony.
Yep.
And this article is really good because this actually broke it a little bit more down. This came via Axios, to Steven Totillo. So the whole thing was that apparently today, there was a new declaration added to the case, to this class action lawsuit. This was filed by, the person's name is Emma Maggio. She was a former employee at Sony. And at first what happened was Sony denied Mojo's claims last month, asking a court to toss the lawsuit over a lack of specific facts. Mojo fails to identify a single policy, practice, or procedure at PlayStation that allegedly formed the bias of any widespread, intentional discrimination or any discriminatory impact on women, Sony lawyers wrote at the time. In response to Mojo's attorneys yesterday filed statement. So in that today, the headline was that Sony SIE actually is acknowledging the fact, of these things. And what it says here is, to be sure, SIE takes the substance of the newly submitted declaration seriously, although most are by former employees who no longer work at SIE. SIE either has addressed or will address the issues raised in them in due course, as SIE value its female employees and takes proactive steps to ensure that they have every opportunity to drive and be heard. Now, I do want to make this clear to everyone in the community and who's watching. I'm not a lawyer. I don't think anyone, unless, bird law counts. But I cannot wait to hear what Hogue Law has to say, so I can definitely educate myself on that. What stood out about this, and this was highlighted in Steven Totillo's tweet today on Twitter, was that the whole part where it says, although most are by former employees, I have something with that. And I want to get everyone else's thoughts, because regardless whether you're an employee of a place or not, and we're talking in general here, that doesn't wash away the fact that there was bad behavior, if there was, or that shouldn't, go say, okay, well, it doesn't really matter because someone that doesn't work here, because you have to think about it, right? If I left my place of employment because of whatever reason, I wasn't being treated well, I wasn't being heard, or I was just treated unfairly, I would be upset that I had to leave my workplace because the leaders that I trusted or the system that was put in place didn't do right for me. So I kind of didn't like that wording that came about, that yes, we acknowledge it. And I just hope that they do fix this.
Yes.
And I hope that this brings a light and says, hey, let's see what these individuals, let's relook at this. And hopefully, like I said last week, the people that are doing this, get them out. We don't need them in the industry, not at any other place, nor any other team or any other place within gaming, because all they do is basically pushing away talent and mistreating people. And they shouldn't be lightweight. So I guess I'll start with you, Crazy, since I know, you're on time. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll be honest with you. They need to fix this, and like I said, all these huge companies need to fix this issue, and it's something that they really, when it happens, they gotta take charge right away and go for it and fix it and patch it. That what's it called? Patch it, or is it patch up? Patch it up. It's called, right? Like to fix it.
Sorry.
It's patch it up, right? Or to fix it, or no?
Like what are you trying to say? Like patch it up, like
resolve the issues.
Like resolve the issues. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they need to really fix those problems up right away and not let it go to worse, because really, yeah, it's bad that happens. I mean, I don't, I feel for those people out there that are going through that stuff, and it's not good that you're in a work and you get harassed or just to get stuff done in a company. So no, seriously, they need to fix that right away and get things done. They need to get that on the dot, fix it, so people can be happy in the workplace.
Yeah. Cypher, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts on this new kind of things that were introduced and kind of this small statement? And I'll read it again. To be sure, SIE takes the substance of newly submitted declaration seriously, although most are by former employees who no longer work at SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment, for those who kind of joined, either has addressed or will address the issues raised in them in due course, as SIE values female employees and their protective steps to ensure that they have every opportunity to thrive and be heard.
See, I don't like the phrasing because the way it comes off, I feel like it's an admission of, hey, our hand got caught in the cookie jar. We are guilty of things. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say for sure, but I feel like the optics of that are just it's gross. Is like trying to be like, oh yeah, these things happened, but those are on previous employees. Like there was obviously a culture issue in the company. And I doubt that they got rid of all the bad apples because we've seen it with ActaBliz, we've seen it in other companies, and it's not
Everywhere.
It's not one or two people. There's a lot. So I just I don't know. I mean, I get what they're saying, but at the same time, it feels like it's the blame game of like, oh yeah, we hear what you're saying, but that's totally someone else's problem.
Yeah, I mean,
like
and again, to make it clear, this has nothing to do with the fact that this is Sony or anything. We're talking here in general of something that many of us will agree we don't want to see in the industry. It's disgusting.
No.
Just like we don't want to see crunch, just like we don't want to see people, walk away from what they love doing because of bad culture. This all encompasses that. So, take away the name brand and just look at the human element of this. It's very important. What about you, Saab? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's 100% that, right? Is like I don't care where you're working. I don't care what it is, what politics are involved or whatever. Everyone deserves a fair and respectful workplace, right? Like you should be able to go to work, do your job, come home, and not either be in worse for wear or whatever. Like you shouldn't have to deal with that at work, just in general. So,
what about you, Sablo? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm surprised in like many aspects. Like, I'm surprised this is happening like all over the industry. Like we saw this already with Activision, and now we're seeing it with this. And like Silent just mentioned, the wording on it, it's kind of like, I don't agree with like what they're doing there. And like Crazy said, we just want this to be resolved throughout the whole industry. We want this to get better everywhere. And I'm also surprised on you, Joanna Dark. You're the number one harasser here in the XBI.
I wouldn't put that in that preface because that's a little bit going far. There's a little difference between what's happening here. And yes, I like joking with you guys, but this is a real serious situation in the sense that this goes beyond what we kind of do, which is busting our chops versus, these are women that were mistreated and left their workplace that they most likely loved doing for many different factors because that work culture there wasn't what it was supposed to, and many leaders failed them.
Correct. Yeah. True.
But joking aside, though, they didn't really need to fix that, though. I mean, it's something that it's really bad. It's a really bad position. People make feel bad, and that has to stop immediately. I mean, it's happened in Activision Blizzard. I think it was a year ago. It started with this started with what's it called? Ubisoft. I think they had an issue with it. Ubisoft had an issue with it.
It's an industry-wide thing. It's an industry-wide thing,
It's an industry-wide thing, yeah. And it's something that they really gotta fix. They really gotta grab it, fix it, and they really need to take measures on that because it's happening a lot. They're trying to take advantage of other people, females, same as males. They try to take advantage of everything, and they need to stop that. They need to stop that immediately so people can go to work, enjoy the work, and not feel this bad feeling of being harassed or bullied or none of that stuff. They really need to fix that. They really do. It's bad. It's bad. Seriously, it's every year that goes by, we get a new company with a new case of harassment. They really need to fix it up right away and do something about it. It's hard. I know it's hard, but I do love when it happens though that they take that the companies that are responsible take action immediately. They don't let it go through. That's something that I gotta say. When that happens, they take action immediately. Now, if they let it go through, man, that's bad on you. You guys gotta investigate that right away when it happens. If it goes publicly, investigate it right away. You guys need to fix it right away.
Yeah.
It
All
takes
jokes
it takes a
aside. Oh, sorry.
no, go, sorry, bro.
I was gonna say, all jokes aside, I think something that these companies need to do is they need to work in a system where also the people that are victims of these, aggression or whatever the implication is, that they feel comfortable on reporting these actions, because
Yep.
it looks like most of these cases, they're known way past when things has escalated not only to one victim, to several people. That several people have had these types of the actions have happened several times through a company, and that's even years later is when we know that these things are happening. And I think they need to work in some kind of a system or a place or somewhere where they can feel comfortable and report all these actions.
Yeah, no. That definitely is some good points. You definitely want to put in a system. Nothing's easy when it comes to many situations. When it comes to when you're dealing with things like that, retaliation's a big thing. We can sit here with a critical lens from the outside and say, well, why don't you just go and raise your hand? It's not that simple. We've all been in different situations at our jobs throughout life, and we understand. We are smart enough sometimes to know the culture and understand. Well, hey, is my job because I love it to personally, or it's something that feeds my family. Do I choose my battles? And it's unfortunate, and I'm not saying that's the right thing to turn the blind eye, but sometimes you're put in those situations, so it's not as easy to speak out. So it's good that there are companies that are doing things. There's people that put um people in place to turn around the culture, to provide insights and make sure that those individuals don't come back into the industry, because we don't need it. We don't live in the bro era, excuse me. We want to cultivate a place where we can all work, and the people that work at anywhere, no matter what you do, we get more talent. And that's one thing that I love. I want to see more is, we talk about diversity. Everyone talks about diversity. Then let's make sure that we keep that by addressing these cultural needs and addressing these situations and getting these people that are stopping this, from having an amazing workplace with amazing people overall. But yeah, sorry.
I was just one last thing I wanted to add to it is because you mentioned like retaliation and stuff. I honestly think that every company should be forced to put in a whistleblower policy where people can actually put in those notifications and they can put in those reports and not have that retaliation. Like it's unfortunate that usually the retaliation comes up from upper management and it works its way down to those people. And I feel like if there were stricter policies on that to make sure that there was some anonymity to the situation, or to make sure that that person was more protected, I think that would benefit everyone as a whole. So
yeah. So now that we can, move on from this, the next news is not as serious and unfortunate as this, but EA Live has been canceled this year.
Oh man.
And my question is, okay, we've seen EA Live, right? And most of the time, we can acknowledge that we're going to get updates on the annual games that EA makes, right? You got your Maddens, you have your FIFA, your NHL, and RIP, NBA Live.
Yeah.
And we'll get maybe a sprinkle of a nice indie game that's coming from one of their studios or something, right? So my question to you guys is, and I'll go to you, Crazy. Does EA have anything to show, and that's maybe the reason? Or second, could we see whatever they may have maybe going to a Sony or an Xbox in one of the shows?
I think they're gonna put it on a show, because I think that I have that much to show this year, because like what is there for those guys? I mean, they got the what's it called? Oh man, I forgot the name.
We just saw Dead Space.
Dead Space, yes. Yeah. We saw Dead Space a couple days ago, and that's it. And they're trying to fix the issues with Battlefield. They're trying to do a couple things. I think I heard that. I think I heard that they're gonna lose the FIFA license. Or am I wrong? I think I heard that. Or they're discussing licenses.
I'm not sure about that, or I think there's something going on with the FIFA.
There's something going on, with the FIFA. So I think they will play it on other. It's a good idea for them just to play it on other shows because I think they don't have that much to show this year. So it'd be pretty cool if they show it somewhere else.
I mean, didn't they? And correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe some people in the chat can correct me as well. Didn't they say that there was a Star Wars game maybe coming out this year? Maybe we would see Jedi something from Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Fallen Order 2, yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's coming out. I think we might see something, but I don't think it comes out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. Yeah.
So Silent, same thing. What are your thoughts about this EA Live cancel? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do you think we see maybe Xbox gets something and PlayStation gets something that they worked around? Maybe FIFA on PlayStation, Madden on Xbox. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I'm sad partly in the fact that I felt like we were starting to shift into having more showcases and stuff like that again. Obviously the last couple of years have been rough, and so it's been nice to have video gaming as kind of like a refuge to get away from it all, right? And so when some of these things get canceled, I don't know if that was the reason, if they were concerned about attendance, or if they just didn't have enough material to fill a whole time if it was digital. But I think it is going to be a benefit, especially for people they've been working with, like Microsoft, and maybe Sony will get some stuff too. But I'm nervous because I want to see Skate 4, right? I want to see
Tony
more
Grosso
from
was
Skate.
just saying that.
He just said he'd like to see another. Yeah, and that's it's like the last time we got word about Skate is the very first time they came out, they're like, hey, we're doing it. And then a little while later, they're like, hey, it's still coming. We're just hard at work. And when they say hey, we're gonna cancel this show, I just get nervous. But at the same time, I hope that maybe it bleeds into one of the other shows, right? Maybe Xbox does something for E3 and it shows up there, or Jeff Keighley does his show and we see it there. But that and Dead Space, those are the things I'm eyeballing. I hope we see more from both of those this year.
And some great points. Sourbloww, before I get to you, I think the crazy one has to say something. But before he says something, this happens, give him another timeout. Just for the crowd. The crowd wants it. Give him a timeout. Give him a timeout. A quick timeout. Give him a quick timeout. Give him a quick timeout. Just give him a quick timeout. This is the intro to his WWE outro.
Okay, he's back.
Okay. He's good?
He's good.
All right, cool.
Didn't you guys put the... Oh.
Yeah, now you're good. Go crazy. We had to give you another one.
Hey, guys, guys, well, have a great show, guys, and I'll see you all next week. Have fun here. I gotta go do something. So, Mr. Joanna Dark, I leave you in charge. Awesome, bro. So, guys, stay pretty cool, stay fresh, and as always, I'll see y'all later.
Oh, man, we lost the talent right now. We lost the talent.
All right, see you.
How are we going to do this? I don't know. But anyway, crazy, have fun. See you next week.
Man.
Good luck.
See you next week. Bye, guys. Have fun with the show. Chat, love you all.
Also, crazy, Big Mad Mo is in. Say it correctly. Big Mad Mo.
Big Mad Mo. Oh, Mo. No. Big Mad Mo. What's up, Big Mad Mo? Also wondering, Dutch is here. What's up, my brother Dutch? Who else is here, though? Did I say hi? All right, I think I said hi to everybody. So, my familia, viste click, mi hermano, ¿cómo tú estás? Espero que disfrutes el programa. So, guys, I'll see y'all next week. Have a good show. Love y'all. Chat, love y'all. Bye-bye.
Cool, thanks, Lou. Yeah, so Wandering Josh was just saying that FIFA was thinking about pulling the license away from them, but nothing went through. So, Sablo, what are your thoughts on this? EA Live being canceled this year. Do you think, like I've been asking the rest of the panel, do you think we see maybe EA go to Sony and PlayStation, whatever is planned for their shows?
Probably. I think they don't have much, so that's why they're canceling. If they really had a lot going, they probably wouldn't have canceled their show. So maybe they might have a few games. Maybe they'll split them up, or maybe they'll just go to one of the two shows, or who knows? Maybe we'll see them in another show. There's a bunch of shows. There's Gamescom. There's the Jeff Keighley show. So we'll see.
Yeah. I if they don't have nothing to show, I'd rather. One of the things that I didn't like, and of course this was during the height of the pandemic, was that we had like 25 shows just to show us one game. Like if Square wanted to show us the next Final Fantasy character, they had like a 30-minute show just to show us whatever, some cat. And I definitely am a believer that if you don't have anything to show, don't show us nothing at all.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have people, complaining, but it's rather have a show to waste our time and then show us, the next Pele character in FIFA, or who's the newest athlete in Madden,
Well,
and again, some people love that because they are diehard fans of those franchises.
I would say at least if you're gonna do one show, do it like kind of like one game, do it kind of like they showed Dying Light. I like their presentation. I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was kind of different and.
Dying Light, I'm up to, especially what they're doing with the sound. Oh man, I cannot wait to put some headphones on.
Did you saw their event during the E3 time? The one they did where they showed the game. They
didn't show much of. They haven't showed much of the of Dying, not Dying Light, excuse me, of Dead Space.
No, I mean no. Dying Light. I'm talking about Dying Light.
Oh yeah, it was cool.
Dying Light too. I thought it was cool for it being one game.
I'm still enjoying the game. I haven't beat it, but Elden Ring's taken over everything.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, awesome. So next thing is just a small bit of news, and if you guys want to chime in, you let me know. So we always talk about monopolies. The internet always talks about monopolies. We have so many amazing lawyers on Twitter that you want to check out. But one of the things that is never brought to the attention is the fact that Tencent, they're like Silent Cypher. They're silent, right?
Yes.
Acquires a majority stake in Rhyme developer Tequila Works. So now, I guess for many people is that Tencent has usually either owns things or they purchase shares within companies, and now they're the majority shareholder of the studio. And the Rhyme, the developer of Rhyme from Tequila Works, the gentleman's name is. They're a Spanish studio. He's the CEO. His name is Raul Rubio. Said for 12 years, the teams at Tequila Works have passionately crafted high-quality titles that radiated our personal sensibilities. But there are limits to how much you can grow by yourself. Rubio says Tencent is a partner that can appreciate the value of top creative talent with the originality as their banner. One that respects our independence and creative freedom. This partnership will allow us to focus on taking the original IPs we are known for to greater heights and create the best experiences we can dream of. Tencent has resources that will allow Tequila Works to become a stronger studio and produce high quality studios. As Luis Sancho, Tequila Works chairman, explained, all made with the care and passion our beloved fans know us for, as well as the opportunity to bring these projects to a wider audience. Pete Smith, the VP of Partnerships of Tencent, also chimed in, saying, Tequila Works' creativity and attention to detail has resulted in titles that have delighted audiences around the world. Other recent acquisitions from Tencent include, Back 4 Blood's Turtle Rock Studios, then Clay Entertainment, and Sumo Digital. Clay is behind the games as Don't Starve and Mark of the Ninja, which is awesome. And then, of course, Sumo Digital was the one that worked on Crackdown 3 and Sackboy's Big Adventure. So, wow, Tencent continues to, acquire some more studios. I mean, and, do we consider them a monopoly at this point?
I wouldn't say they're a monopoly.
And I know, I'm just messing.
Not yet.
But it's interesting, these small studios.
Yes. I just want to say this. I love Rhyme, and I hope, the current article you read, that they do keep them, independent. And I would love to see a Rhyme 2 with a greater budget. I'm interested in what they can do, because I love that game. I thought it was great.
Silent.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call them a monopoly at this point, but I'd definitely call them threatening, right? Like they are pulling talent here and there. They're doing the same thing as what is it? The THQ group that just
Embracer Group.
Embracer. They're doing the same thing, right? Like they're picking off small groups. Like Microsoft and Sony get hit for like bringing in these big groups and stuff, but THQ Nordic, the Embracer Group, and then these guys, like they've pulled stuff in just kind of here and there. And I feel like because it's smaller groups, it hasn't paid, people haven't paid as much attention. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're building, right? And that's what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
They're being quiet about it.
I think one of the things that stood out here, and I think we've talked about this on all ends, right? I guess the main person from Tequila, what's his name again? Here's this gentleman. Oh yeah, Raul Rubio. He made a point of saying that getting, selling, I guess, to Tencent, or being acquired, by Tencent, allows them to be able to take their IPs to a higher limit. And that's important because that shows you that when you do have the resources and you're a small studio and you want to be ambitious, maybe for the next sequel or the next project, you need capital. And that's kind of hard. So when you have an investor like Tencent, or you have an investor like Sony or Microsoft, and you think it works for you, you think their culture and what their philosophy can help you, make your true vision, it's not a bad thing. And we're seeing that, as more and more little developers, and like everything else, right? We're probably going to see people that maybe don't want to join them and go and start their own studio the next week. So it's always kind of like the circle of life, right? Just keeps going and over and over. But yeah, but now, now to the good meat of the news, and it has to do with today. God Howard, praise his name. Ooh. Yes, the newest video in episode 2 of Starfield titled "Made for the Wanderers." Now, I don't know if you gentlemen got a chance to watch that video. I watched it 4 times.
I watched it 3 times, and I probably will continue.
But like I said before, I've always been excited about Starfield, right? And I guess I'm just trying to keep that excitement because it's not here yet. But after watching this video and listening to Todd Howard and that round table, like I keep saying it, Todd Howard is an amazing person at presenting and kind of making you envision. That could be a bad thing because then you kind of just, go off and crazy and do your mind. But it just has me at the level that I was when I knew Elden Ring was coming. And I just feel like this game is going to be one of these games for me that is really going to allow me to live my life however I want in space and just go out and go wild and live my life. And I'll get back to me, but start with you, Silent. What are your thoughts on this, The Wanderers? What stood out from you, and what's your hype level?
So my hype level is building. I think it goes back to what we were talking about previously, right? Is I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more like shows, more events, or more like making ofs and stuff like that. And this is going right into that making of type of thing that I like. The thing is like it's ramping up my excitement, and I feel like they're going to continue this cadence for now the rest of the year, right? Like going into the launch. The thing that's getting me really excited, though, is when they were talking about it, I don't know if you noticed it, but they were mentioning basically very much like a Firefly. Yeah. Or a Serenity type of class, which I was all for. As soon as I heard that, I was like, yes, you send me out as Mal, and I get to go out and do these things. Like, I am 100% with that. You do that. I will sit there and just play that all day because I love the idea of that type of stuff. I thought it was really cool too that they had like that pirate class and stuff like that, like space pirates and stuff. I think there's a lot more detail into the classes and stuff that maybe I just didn't expect, because you could choose different classes in the old games, Skyrim and all that stuff. It didn't always feel like it made like a big difference. But I kind of feel like this one, they're kind of separating it and like taking it apart from each other and maybe going to make it more dynamic.
And just to let you know the factions, that way, we know it's called the Free Star Collective. That's the class you were talking about. That's that Western kind of Serenity.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was thinking the same thing, Silent. I was just like, oh, my God. If I can come in now, we need a cool person that has like these crazy powers that can go in and just kick somebody's butt.
100%.
So so real quick, sorry, Sour.
No,
It's
okay.
the United Colonies, it's the Free Star Collective, and then of course you have what's called the Ryuji, which is the corporate. And I think I was saying in my tweet that I cannot wait to be the handsome Jack of this world.
But they also mentioned the pirates that I forgot their name.
They're called One Piece.
No,
No.
Which you can actually join them if you wanted to. You can be part of them. Wow, what was the name?
Yeah. You can be part of this pirate. I'm trying to remember the name too.
Yeah. I forget the name.
The Crimson Fleet. The Crimson
Fleet. Yes.
Yeah. And I thought that was, to kind of go on that sour blow. What I love that Todd Howard said is, and I don't think, please, this is not a bad thing. This is just comparing, right? You have experiences, right? Different experiences. That's the great thing about gaming. That's great about movies. You have gaming experiences that tell you how the story progresses, because that's the way the game was designed, right? To give you that linear experience or semi-open experience.
Yes.
And he says that this game is different from that. He wants to give you he wants you to make those choices and plot those points versus him giving it to you, because that's their vision for this game. And I just want to make sure we make it clear, because people can take these things out of context, of course.
Right.
And it's right. I went back and I revisited Fallout 4. I've never really played Fallout 4 past maybe 8 to 6 hours into the game. But one of the things that I kept on thinking as Starfield's coming is the attention to detail when you go into the wasteland, from the fact that I picked up a cup and I was looking at these things. I was looking at the patterns of like how the enemies kind of live in their habitat. And it just has me thinking of the level of detail that, to kind of continue on this, and I'll go back to actually the question is, he even said, he wants to go back to things that are kind of forgotten and maybe not done like they used to do in RPGs, and really give you that old school, like you're really playing in this character and this world is yours and this is how you make it. Did you get that from what he said, Sourbloww? Did you get a chance to hear that part?
Well, sorry, what was the part real quick? I was reading.
So the part of him saying that he wants it to bring back to harken old school RPGs where it was really hardcore, meaning that you really are role playing as this character and this world. Does that get you excited? Do you think that's something that he wants to make it different compared to, again, we have immersive RPGs, but he really wants to harken it back to those, like, I can think back of like Icewind Dale or Baldur's Gate or some of those type of games that you really got into it, like D&D.
Yes. Yeah, I got what I got from him is that, there were certain things that they were able to do, with Skyrim, etc. But they kind of want to expand and add to things that other RPGs were able to do that, he hasn't implemented in his RPG. And he feels, it's the moment that you can add all these other mechanics and all these others, choices and trades and all these other things to the game. And I think this is the perfect game too, because it's, it's a space game. It's a wide game where you have, I can only imagine, like, at least, let's say it's just one solar system. I mean, that's huge. And we know how big Skyrim was already. So I think adding, all these choices and all these stuff, it will really add to a game that, we don't want such a game in such a huge scale where it feels the same as, Skyrim or Oblivion and
but I mean, but think about it this, Sourbloww. Those games are still played today.
Yeah. They are, but at the same time,
I was about to buy Skyrim on the Switch, but then I got my my OX player, my Steam Deck is coming, so I said nope. Game Pass has me covered, and I own Skyrim on Steam and Game Pass, right? And even to this day, that game, I remember, and I keep saying the same thing with Skyrim. I played this game over 100 hours and became the master of the wolves, and I never even got to the second quest of the actual story. And one of the things that and he said in this, right? And one of the things that I think is forgotten is the way of you telling your story. This game is not just a game that tells you the story of a specific character. It's going to be when we talk as a group or we talk as a community here on XBI, we know the story of Sourblow, the Crimson Fleet, or whoever you pick, right?
Yes.
Or Silent Cipher of the United Colonies, or Big Bad Mo who's in the chat excited as one of the Crimson Fleet, or the Wandering Dutch, coming on in my world maybe if there's multiplayer, and going out there and being bounty hunters. So, does it get you? Did this video get you really hyped for the game?
Well, it gets me definitely hype. I mean, I'm a person that I've been waiting so long for Star Citizen. I know you make fun of me, but Star Citizen.
So I'm gonna stop you there.
You'll continue to wait forever.
We only talk about real games, Sourblow. So now you
okay, but let me tell you this. Let me tell you this real quick though.
Nobody's ever seen this game, so how can we know?
Chris Roberts ran away with your money, bud. Sorry.
They showed they showed very they showed what they envisioned for that game, and that's kind of the vibes I'm getting for this game. But the thing with this game is, it has a release date. We know the date that is coming, and even Star Citizen, it might be a game that probably never comes out. But
it doesn't exist.
I have played the alpha, and there's many things you can do.
Do you have proof?
Yeah, I mean, I can download it and I can go
move a ship
on what?
On
what? What can you download it on? On a console
PC.
that exists?
On PC.
There's no PC that has it.
Anyway, whatever. The point is that there's so many things you can do there, and it's just an alpha that I envision, what Todd Howard could actually do. Him, implementing the time, him having a game already done, like Skyrim, etc. I am really, really hyped for this game, and I can't wait till it comes out. I think once this game comes out, I'm just gonna play it hourly. Like I'm gonna play it as much as I can.
Nice. But you're right. It's Big Bad Mo brought up a good, point there in the sense of, people tell us why we're getting hyped because Todd Howard has basically made us envision what this game is going to be. Yeah, and continue. Sorry, Cypher. Go.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, you look at the guy's pedigree, just along his career, and it's like he ties himself to passion projects that he really enjoys. And you see that in the final product, right? Like, not everything is always a hit. There are some misses here and there, like, tied himself a little bit to Fallout 76, but he can still cloud himself on that one because he wasn't the lead on it or whatever. But, it's like generally he ties himself to those passion projects, and you see that passion returned in the actual release of the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's, I keep saying this every time I see Todd Howard is he talks like someone who has been reinvigorated, and I'm not saying he wasn't, but he sounds like someone that wants to show you something that he's worked so hard, and he cannot wait for you to try. Like I guess he can't wait whenever this event comes to get on that stage and finally show you Starfield.
Well, remember real quick on the other interview he did, was it last year? I think he mentioned that this was planned I think 20 years ago, and they had to put it on the back burner because they didn't feel they have the technology yet to make this game. So now that they have the technology and they think they got the game almost, the game, it's coming out this year. I mean, if they set a date, they're pretty sure they can hit that date. So I'm sure he's super excited to finally show, his baby. He's been working on this for so long that he looks super excited that he just wants to show us what he got, and I can't wait to this game to come out.
Did you? What did you think? We saw that first in-game concept of that robot. I'm gonna name my robot Chappie. That's how I'm gonna name it. Or maybe
nice.
El Chapulín, or something. I'm gonna name it. Maybe some type of.
I'll just name it T1000.
T1000. I'm gonna name him Mega Man because Mega Man's never coming back, so I might as well have him in there. And hey, Sourblow, Big Man Boss. That's not a game because it doesn't exist. It's just an outfit, some money grab. Thank you, Big Bad Mo. Sourblow loves investing in NFTs. There we go. That's what it is.
Yep, that was the Chris Roberts NFT, and he thanks you for your donation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But on my thing is, like I said, I love that robot, how it looked, and every time I just see it, like I keep saying, and I get this, Space Odyssey, Lost in Space, freaking Interstellar. I don't know why I get into the stellar feel to this game, even though Interstellar was a different, But I like how it's grounded in reality
and it's realistic. Yeah.
And to add some tidbits, they said the aliens or whatever life out there, you're not going to see something like out of Mass Effect, but it's going to be more like primitive. That's another thing that they kind of added on there.
They said it on that. I don't recall.
I can't find the article, but it was an article that that kind of put. I have to look for it. I don't know if it was IGN or Video Games, one of those. But they said that, I guess the description, because he even said it. It's still grounded, and it's not saying that there isn't life. But we're not going to have a freaking go to this world and fight like Sauron or something.
I don't think it's just gonna be. I don't think it's just gonna be one other type of life. I think if there is, it's gonna be several different type. That would be my guess. My question would also be: do you guys think there will be any like magical elements, or because from what I understand from this game is it's trying to be more grounded. It's kind of like,
I mean, you can
Earth,
have
but
technology that allows you to maybe have like something that can be projectiles, but it has to be grounded in science or something.
Yes.
Somebody can maybe have some gloves that can conduct electricity out of something. It's supposed to be a little bit more grounded, and I think the exploration in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're probably going to see some stuff like you get some gloves of handling, right, which offer you +10 to strength or holding or something like that, or like a backpack that allows you to have more oxygen or something, if that's a thing. Like
I want snacks in my backpack. I want Reese's Pieces. I want Reese's Pieces.
Dude, forget that. I want some of those Ritz cracker with cheese.
And that pill gives you like super strength, like for
yeah. So I don't think we're gonna get 100% away from the gamified side of things, but it seems like it's more geared towards the realistic side.
Okay, are we gonna have swords?
Probably not.
I mean, a sword can exist, but no. This is not Star Wars, man. So let me ask you this question, Sauerblon. This is a serious question, right? Okay. Star Citizen, from what I've seen and from what I heard when this project started,
yes,
to me sounds like Starfield in a sense. Now, do you think with Starfield coming out, and maybe what's the other game? I think there's another game called something Space Odyssey. Is it called? I can't remember the name of it. There's another game out there.
Yeah. Well, there's many.
But do you think with Starfield come out that kind of puts a little bit of a coffin? Not a coffin, but this puts a dent into Star Citizen?
I honestly think once this game comes out, and if it deliver, it's gonna put so much pressure to the guys that I think is RSI.
That robbed you.
Anyway, I think it's gonna put a lot of pressure on them because
they robbed you. You should call your bank.
People that have been waiting so long for their game, and they look at this game, they're gonna be like, "Hey,
Sour
why this game? It's not even close to that."
You have 2 kids, and this game hasn't out yet. True. I didn't even have kids when this game was announced, and now I have 2.
That's true. Yep.
So it's never coming out.
And I've been waiting since almost the beginning. So, yeah. I myself, I quit on them.
I mean, here's my thing, man. I get it. When I first heard it, they wanted to be ambitious, but this is beyond too ambitious. And at this
I
point,
think the problem with them is they had a vision for the game, and that vision
and now they just want your money.
It just kept evolving. And sure, they're doing a lot of the things they promised they were gonna do, but you keep moving the goalposts. They're kind of like these Twitter guys that they keep moving the goalposts. That's what they're doing with this game. So if they really want, people to stay within, their game platform or whatever they want to call it, I think they should just reduce their goalposts. Maybe work on only one solar system, finish that solar system, and deliver a game that is playable, and then continue to add, kind of like Sea of Thieves or other games like that, like No Man's Sky, for example.
Yeah, even No Man's Sky did it. So I'm thinking, Star Citizen at this point, again, I don't want to poo-poo on anyone's games. Trust me, I used to kickstart games, and unfortunately, the one game I wanted to be the one time I wanted a game to be kickstarted, it didn't meet its goals. So but we'll see. But like I said, oh man, I cannot wait till I finally see Starfield whenever it comes, and it's just gonna be, oh man. And then when they say,
I hope you can customize your ships. Also, that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to have.
I'm gonna call it the unreliable
ships battle. Why? Because you're driving it.
No, because you're probably gonna be in it. And I know when you're the driver.
He is throwing some shade.
Well, here's the thing: he didn't get the reference from the Outer Worlds. That's how much of a gamer he is. Oh, there we go. Look, yep, you drink that water. That salt that you just had, just drink it away.
He's passing time. He's trying to think of something.
I remember it.
Oh, no, now you remember after you had to drink that nice little packet of salt. I just threw it back at
that
you.
Water reinvigorated your brain. It's fine.
MJD316 said so. But anyway, now, cool. We got that. And, a game that continues to dominate. A game that gets people angry. I don't know why. Maybe because people die a lot in the game. Elden Ring continues to just dominate. Not even that. It has already sold worldwide 12 million copies. And is one of the biggest third-party Japanese games to really do a great job. And, shout out to Miyazaki and his team from Software. I think they've done a tremendous job. Yeah. It's a game that, like I said, even people that have never even tried Souls games are into it. Yes. And it just continues to amaze me, And even when I walk away and I go and try something else and I come back and I get those nice little 3 or 4 hours, I'm just like, wow. And that's what I said to a lot of people. That's what I loved about Breath of the Wild, is that I kept on exploring. I wanted to know what was in the other side of the bridge, even though there was not a lot happening. But I always wanted to know more of the world and everything. And I think the exploration aspect, I think some people don't understand, is why they make this game, special. This niche game per se, right? It's not very niche when you sell that much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Are you guys, as people, are you surprised that this game is just the juggernaut that it is? Did you even expect it, especially being a Souls game?
Well,
go for a sour.
Okay. Well, first of all, I gotta say that this game, I don't know what it was, but since the get-go, it had something that it grabbed people's attention and interest. Meaning that, it won 2 times, the most, the most anticipated game. I have never played a Soul game, and I never really been interested in one. It's not even that, I have even looked at it and be like, oh no, I don't want to play that game. It's just that it never have caught my interest like this one did. And this one caught my interest right away. I think it also helps that George R.R. Martin, worked on this game. I think he worked on the story a little bit. And, it just grabbed my attention. And once you try it, the game has something that you just want to keep exploring. You want to keep, even though when you get to a boss, the boss might kill you a few times. You kind of want to overcome that, and and you leave the boss, and you'll be like, "I'll be back for you." And I just
Back
love
for
the
blood.
game. I just love the game, and every day I go in, I learn something new.
Yeah,
So,
Cypher.
yes.
What about you, man?
Yeah, no, I mean it makes a lot of sense to me after playing it, right? Like when I first saw it, I was still skeptical going into it because again, I think I told you like with my experience previously with Dark Souls and stuff like that, I wasn't really expecting I was going to end up jumping into that game and getting drawn in. And after playing it, like, I mean, it's definitely not as hard as some of those other games. It feels like it's just more approachable in general as far as like the actual controls and just like the general grind and stuff of things. Like it just feels like it's more familiar. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it just felt like when I picked it up, I was able to jump into it and I got it and I just continued on with it. And it's like, yeah, you get knocked down into the mud multiple times by those enemies, but it wasn't really like a big hassle to go over and grind, kill some of those bigger giants and stuff like that, come back, try and fight them again. I didn't get into like the really technical stuff as far as like some of the spells and some of that stuff yet. Because again, I've kind of been out of the loop on that game for about a week. But I started into it. I got some of those spells and stuff. So next time I jump into it, I think I've got some like some coyotes or some sort of spell that I can call for, so I can actually have some backup, which will
You
be
got
great.
coyotes? I just got
forget
regular
what it
duck.
was. It was like wolves of some sort. It was wolves of some sort. I forget. But yeah, no, I mean 12 plus million, like it makes sense. Like once you start playing that game, you get hooked. It is abusive in some aspects, but it's not that bad. It's just really kind of learning what the process is in the game. So yeah, it's great. I'm happy that they have that much success on this game. Hopefully that means we'll see some more stuff like this.
Yeah, cool. Elden Ring continues to dominate, but hey, it's all everything continue to play. But cool. So today we had an event, right? We had the ID at Xbox Twitch event, and we got to get, we got some, cool little games that we got to see at the event. I took a nice little, I wrote them down, some of the games that were pretty cool there. But I guess I want to, before we talk, one of the games that I'm excited for was WrestleQuest, and we can talk about that.
Oh,
You have
yes.
Booker T, Jeff Jarrett, Macho Man is based, it's a tribute to Macho Man, but it has all these legends. And I was just like, yes, give me a wrestling RPG. I'm good. I'm down. I mean, I'm going to buy this game day one and just get my guy, my Nacho Libre guy and just take him all the way. But besides the game, before we get into some of the games that we liked, what are your thoughts on the event? Did you like it? Did you think it was improved from last year? And maybe what can they do to continue to iterate and make it much better? Let's start with you, Silent Cypher.
Oh man, I did end up seeing the trailer for this, and I'm excited just in the fact that I haven't really been in the wrestling game for a long time. Like I feel like the last time I really got grabbed and brought into a wrestling game was when I was playing the Super Nintendo games way back in the day.
Wait, what? You never played No Mercy?
And all those.
You never played No Mercy?
I played it, but I just didn't care for it.
So did you like the WrestleFest and all that?
Yeah, I enjoyed the WrestleMania and all that stuff on Super Nintendo. I spent a bunch of time on that. Like it was just it was a great time. Like I feel like the amount of pixels on the screen and the bright pinks and all that on Savage and everything, I felt like it matched up to what I envisioned wrestling. Like in my mind, like Undertaker wasn't a goth emo or anything. Like everything was just kind of playful and fun. And just I don't know. Like at that point I was young and I just really enjoyed it. And then as time went on and I started hearing about all these storylines and plots and stuff, I just kind of dropped off. But there have been a couple cool like indie wrestling games that have come out over the last couple of years, and this one looks like it might be a good one too. I'm willing to give it a shot. Like it's probably going to be what, $20 at the most, if it's not on Game Pass. And I'm just like, okay, sure, we'll give it a shot.
Sour, what's up, man? I know you're an AEW fan, so you know.
Sorry, Sour.
Yes. I'm a huge wrestling fan overall. I love wrestling. I watch even indie wrestling. I watch all types of wrestling, and I'm really excited. What gets me the most excited is not that Booker T was there, is not that Jeff Jarrett was there, is that the actual
you were not happy that Harlem Heat, one of the members of Harlem Heat, was there.
Yeah, I was happy about that, but what got me most excited was the actual developer that was there sitting down. When he was talking about the game and he was explaining his game, he actually seemed like someone that knows wrestling, is passionate about wrestling, and was passionate about his game. And, and when he started explaining the game, how you're going to start as a wrestler and you're going to go in between, you're going to fight your way up through the indies, and then you're going to keep escalating, and you're going to meet different legends, that these legends are going to kind of mentor you to becoming, the star that you want to become. That really got me excited. It seems like a game that they put a lot of passion into it, and I think when you got a project and you put passion to it, that really that really excites me. It really shows. Yes.
I to kind of jump on to what you're talking about with that. We saw a lot of that with the last one or two Fight Night games, but we also saw it with UFC, right? Is like that career path, like going through and working from the ground up and going to be a legend. That stuff was fun. And that was definitely something that jumped out to me when I saw this video this morning. Is just, it looks like it's that, start from like an indie all the way to greatness. And that's cool. Like that's fun stuff to do. Like everyone wants to be the guy that walks into the ring and everyone cheers for, right?
Yeah. So something they also highlighted a lot is that, sure, there's a lot of games that, people are interested in, like how you can do your flips, how you can, your fighting mechanics. But this one is heavily, heavily in the story. They're focused in the story, which is something that a lot of people don't really look into wrestling. They think wrestling is just, just people jumping around, hugging each other. And one of the best thing about wrestling is
it was for a long time.
One of the best thing about wrestling is that it's the storytelling. That's why I kind of agree with something Mr. Joanna Dark said. I think it was on Twitter. Did he say it? The GOAT in wrestling.
The GOAT. What about him?
I agree with your choice. I think he is the GOAT.
Bret the Hitman Hart?
Yes.
Yep. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And McMahon screwed him.
Yep. He screwed him just like he's screwing the company right now.
Yeah. But that's for the wrestling podcast of XBI.
Yes. So go ahead. I want to hear about you. What got you excited?
What, from the game or from just the event in general? I mean, that game got me excited because, even though I'm a lapsed wrestling fan, I've always loved wrestling because I connected with that era of wrestling. And I think maybe it's because right now, WWE, I just don't connect with those wrestlers, except for some of them that are there, like the Chris Jerichos that used to be there and so forth. Not even John Cena, as much as I like seeing John Cena on TV. The Rock, of course, he's a legend. But
yeah, but those are people that superseded wrestling, right? Like they went off and they did their own thing outside of that, and it was great. The rest of them, not the case.
Yeah, I'm excited to just jump in and relive the moments that I enjoyed as a kid, and almost, when I was, in my early 20s, as when I finally fell off wrestling. and that's gonna get me hopefully back and to kind of relive, be able to get those storylines, get my characters. Yeah, that had me excited. Another game that has me
quick thing
excited
before you
is
jump to your next game, since we're in wrestling. Before we leave, have you seen the series Heels? Have you started watching that?
Heels. Why does this sound familiar?
You should watch that. That
What's
series is really good.
Have you watched Glow?
Yes, I did.
Glow was good.
It was good, but then it I don't know. I didn't like it toward the end.
It
there
went
was
down
a
the
certain
cliff like
point.
the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Heels is much better. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You should watch it. Yes.
I'm gonna put that on my list. But yeah, no, another one that has me excited that we saw it last week at the State of Play, but it's coming day one to Game Pass is Trek to Yomi.
Yes.
And oh my god, it just looks like a game that I just can't wait to get my hands on.
I told you.
I already knew that game. Starblow. I've seen that game a while ago.
No, I told you way back ago, and you're like, "What game is that?"
What are you talking about? I know I didn't know it well by name, but I knew what it was about.
Okay.
But the aesthetics, I love the artwork. It just looks like a game I want to. I forgot the name of it. I don't have the name right now. But there's a game on Switch I have that is similar in the sense of the kind of Japanese kind of medieval samurai. I forgot the name of it, but it's coming out to other platforms, and this just reminds me of it in that sense of a side scroller killing. I mean, some of those finishers they have in that trail, I was like, oof.
Yes.
So what are you guys excited for this game?
Oh, definitely, yes, definitely excited. You want me to mention other games I was excited for, or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, well, Tunic, definitely. I mean, I downloaded it right away, and I can't wait to continue to play it. There was also, what game when I first saw it, I wasn't too interested, but then when I saw a certain aspect, it kind of got me interested in playing, and I think it would be fun. That Room Escape game. I forgot what's the name of it. It's something Academy, like Roomscape Academy or something like that. I liked that it had co-op, so you can kind of do it with several people, and it has room escapes. It's different doing room escape, and I don't know if you noticed they started playing it and stuff. At first, I thought it was kind of
I know what you're talking about.
But then it got to a point where when he started actually doing things, I was like, oh, this could be a cool game, to play it with someone. It would be interesting.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes games don't demo correctly, especially when you have such short time. So sometimes you can pass them away. Cypher, from this indie showcase, what are some other games that got you excited? I'll tell you one. I don't know if you got to see Flint Stock. It looks like the people that made Ashen.
Oh yes. I actually showed that yesterday in the gaming lobby. But I didn't know it was gonna it's coming to Game Pass too.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I did love Ashen. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yes.
But another one, and one that I got to demo months ago, and I provided feedback. It's what I like to call the adult version of Fire Emblem called Lost what I think is Eidolon, something like that.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, that looked cool. Yeah, I got to play the demo. Unfortunately, at the time, this was a very, very early demo, and all I'm gonna say is that I because it feels like Fire Emblem. I just at the time what I played, the story was those things were not in place the way it's supposed to, so I didn't really get. It was more of the experience of how the game played. It's definitely really cool because it has that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was gonna say that roguelike golf game kind of.
Oh yes,
that was what I was just about to mention is Curse to Golf.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that one looked pretty cool.
Which looked cool because the whole thing about it and the thing that I was reading on it, they were saying it answers mankind's greatest question: what if golf was a roguelite? which I like. Like,
yeah,
it looked cool. I would definitely play that.
Adding to that, I think that presentation right there, that's kind of what this indie show should move towards. Like, show the game and then just have the developer briefly explain what the game is and then move on to the next game. That's what this show should evolve into. That's just me.
I mean, I like and I agree with you on that, but I also thought that it was a little bit too long-winded, and sometimes it just it was like kind of like, you know, when you go to a concert and you have like, okay, this is the person I'm seeing, but then they have the people that are kind of either being exposed as new artists, and you're waiting, and like, when is such and such coming out?
Yeah.
And that's all, and they keep
also
on just giving you
those
these
break
things.
times are horrible. Like, yeah, I don't get why all these breaks too.
And then I guess another thing is, and you know, and this is just for me, I would love for more, I guess, a little bit of more in the, bringing in actual content creators that cover the Xbox platform. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of people within the you know, gaming industry that do cover Xbox, that do understand the platform, and I think will show that emotion. And I'm saying it's like if someone said to me, "Hey, Joanna, go cover, you know, puppies," and I'm just like, "Yeah, you know, puppies are cool. I'm just not into puppies like that, right?"
Puppies?
It doesn't mean no. But what I'm trying to say is, I can be an expert in something, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm passionate about something. And I would love to see people that we know or people out there that cover Xbox really well that can definitely bring their personality. They can also really kind of show. And I'm just talking as someone looking this as someone that's always kind of seen some of these shows. You know, like I remember a prime example, to give a good example of this, was Jeff Keighley and the summer games. He brought people, influencers, and the one thing this influencer said was like, "Oh yeah, I like playing DVD movies on my Xbox. I don't really play Xbox." I was like, "What?" And that would be bad. Vice versa, if somebody said, "Hey, you know what? I have a Nintendo Switch, but I only use it as a bookcase." It just, that's bad optics for anyone. And I would rather win somebody who's passionate about a certain platform, about a certain ecosystem, to give me that news and get me excited about the amazing games these developers are bringing to kind of overall, you know.
You know that real quick, you know that there was a Xbox event in the Latino community that they had a content creator that this happened a while back. But they had a content creator that in the middle of the presentation in one of the, I don't remember what event it was, he started promoting a headphones from the competition. And I was like, what?
He's like, I'm
so glad. And I think that's and I think that's what happens with that is, I think it's a disservice to people who are fans of just whatever they're watching.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure that you have the right person to get you excited for what's coming to your ecosystem or whatever you play on. Like, you know, if somebody's going to, you know, if I want to get hyped about the New York Knicks, I don't want somebody from the Brooklyn Nets talking to me about the Knicks. I want somebody from the Knicks talking to me about the Knicks or anything, you know, and it's just the same way. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a much better improvement, and I think they're listening to the feedback, and that's the greatest thing. Overall.
Hey, so I think we'd be remiss, right, if we didn't mention the fact that Shredders was there.
Oh yes,
yes,
right?
yes. Oh, yeah.
what with the fact that we've got that so heavily advertised with us, you know, because we're sponsored.
We're planning on.
No. We're not sponsored. Do not say we're not sponsored by Shredders.
We'll put it this way: we would love to have Shredders devs play Shredders with us. That would be fun. That would be really cool.
How many players? Because I heard it's like kind of like a open world, like multiplayer. How many players do you think is gonna be available? I hope it's something like 8.
I mean, I definitely want to know more information about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what? Because it comes out tomorrow, right?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Comes out tomorrow, and then we'll do a stream on it on Friday.
Sourblow's gonna destroy the game because he's gonna crash into everything. He's
gonna. Depending on how many people we have, we might be able to pull some people into in from the community into our gaming night.
Yes.
If there's a good.
If Sourablow doesn't kill him.
If so,
With his shredding them.
We'll just put it this way, right? Like anyone we invite to play with us, they just need to wear a lot of like heavy pads and stuff, like a lot of armor to make sure that they're safe.
And do not get near Sourablow. Be on like the other side of the mountain.
Yes.
I just gotta say quickly to the panel in the chat real quick. If you hear any kind of screeching, I'm sorry. That's my 7-month-old son in the background.
Someone's screaming?
Yeah.
He said screeching. I was like, he was shredding.
My son, he's pretty happy.
I thought he was gonna say shredders.
It's Shredder. Yeah, he's excited for Shredders.
Yes.
No, but I'm excited. You know, I miss SSX Tricky. I miss 1080 snowboarding. So it's great to see that this game has a combination of people that love these type of games, and I'm excited. I mean, day one on Game Pass, get to just hit the slopes and do some crazy stuff on there. Not worry that Sourablow is going to kill me in real life because he's a terrible driver and everything. So yeah, I'm excited. So now, you know, since we have some time, I definitely want to tackle the final topic of the show. And this has to do, of course, with the fact that this week I was helping Mrs. Joanna Dark look for a job because apparently, you know, she's no longer going to be starring in a game called Perfect Dark, you know, because all of a sudden, you know, this came out and they said, hey, you know, there's a Fast and the Furious exit. I was trying to think about Fast and the Furious exit where they're like getting in cars and like jumping off tops and everything. Like I'm out. Peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But yes, this was broken by VGC Chronicles. And the crux of this that we've probably everyone, even people within our community that are watching today have heard this, is that there was issues at the initiative where basically half of their staff left and high profile people. And you know, it sucks. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, we've been hearing like, oh, doom and, you know, are they doomed? You know, how can this happen? You know, what's going on? And I guess, you know, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard throughout the week. And I want to get your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on the fact, this article and the fact that the initiative, as it was constructed now, lost a lot of its talent? We'll go with you, Silent.
Yeah, you know, the thing is like I have a hard time reading something like this and thinking that it's really that much of a surprise or that it's, you know, that uncommon, right? We see people swap to different jobs all the time. I see it with the job I'm in, right? Is like people are shifting, people are moving on a regular cadence. It happens in jobs in general. It's not specific to the game development side of things. It happens everywhere.
But let me ask you this, since you're comparing where you work at, you know,
sure.
Have you had maybe parts throughout the many years you've been at this company where you may have had like a high turnover where a lot of people maybe left either to somewhere else or maybe, you know, different position out of your department? Have you ever had a situation like that? And then kind of, let's just say, from the outside looking in, it looks like, whoa, what the hell's happening over there?
I mean, yeah, but usually like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Like there's probably some reason for it. Like in some situations, if I'm losing people or if the company's losing people versus like if some of these companies are losing people right now, like we just came out of a pandemic where it was really hard to keep people in general, right? And that's something I kind of see is like, yes, they lost a grip of people, but we're also at a point in time where like it's hard to keep employees in general. Like unless you're paying really well and you're very flexible about your guidelines on certain things, I feel like it's hard to maintain 100% workforce. It's hard. Like everyone just has a different mindset, I think, than what it's been maybe in previous years before things kind of hit the fan a little bit. But you know, that's just my perspective. I just feel like I feel like over the last couple of years, people maybe started to reconsider certain things that were more important to them, and maybe the finance side of it wasn't necessarily the biggest thing. Maybe it was more longevity of the job or just the coverage that the job offers.
Sablo, what are your thoughts on this thing with the initiative? And one of the key things I guess I want to put here in is that the whole thing about the initiative was always to stay agile, to be like people like to kind of point out a quadruple A studio, whatever that wants means. But a lot of people in this article, apparently the people that have voiced their opinion for this article, saying that some of their ideas were not heard, that the process was taking long, and maybe they weren't used to, or they weren't used to the management style of what Daryl Gallagher was, or whatever management was there. What are your thoughts on this overall?
Yes. Well, from what I got from the understanding of reading different articles, as that article state, the employees that have left, their concern was that their voice wasn't being heard, and they were no longer being their ideas wasn't really being taken serious for their project, so they didn't really have that input. So that's why a lot of these other people kind of left. And the idea to bring Crystal Dynamic was kind of like a group that has worked with Gallagher, Gallagher,
David Gallagher.
David Gallagher, and hopefully that would ease the whole process of the whole situation with it. The thing that concerned me a little bit more is that this guy left also, the one that left recently.
Yeah, the second in command to
Second in
the initiative.
command.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also part of David Gallagher and when they were at Crystal Dynamics?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we do know that the current person.
Okay, but I believe they were also together at Crystal Dynamic. So that makes me think, is this a thing? Is this a problem with David? And if it is a problem with him, why wasn't this addressed? Why someone didn't step up and kind of like question him, like, what's going on? Why is everyone leaving? And why it seems to be, because it's obviously from what it looks like, it seems to be him the problem right now. Unless there could be things that we don't know, but that's what it looks like. But hopefully, hopefully now that the Crystal Dynamic team is there, everything it's all set, and they can follow his vision. Because too much chef in the kitchen, I don't think that makes a good recipe right there. So hopefully, he'll take charge, and they can complete this game, finish this game, and then after the game is there, they can reevaluate what are they gonna do.
Actually, his comments and just kind of thinking back over it, just kind of brings one thing to my attention. Right? Is like, okay, yeah, you lost a group of people in the main support studio, which potentially that means that maybe the job that they were working on is done, or is to a point where they can have a more agile team. Because again, we know that this team is going to be more agile, right?
Yes.
What if potentially, like, they have, I mean, we haven't heard as much on how many support teams they have helping them with the process, right?
Yeah, there's a rumor that certain Affinity is also helping out, but that's just a rumor, I think.
That was on the multiplayer, though.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there's apparently there's a this is not confirmed. There's a multiplayer aspect to Perfect Dark, and certain Affinity is the one that's working on that portion of the game.
I would just wonder if maybe, like, yeah, I mean, that's a sizable departure, but at the same time, I wonder if it's as affected, or if they're as affected in the fact that maybe they have a decent amount of support studios. I don't know.
So I know I said this on Boom, and again, I wanted to get to the next part because I know we're running out of time a little bit, and we want to make sure that we respect everyone's time. But this is what I want to say, and I think Jay Vargas also had a good question that I want to answer. Can this be a part of growing pains of a new company? And I feel that I mentioned Nasa Studio as a quadruple A. So Microsoft never said the word quadruple A. That was being thrown around. Second, it could be, right? So what I want to say about this is the fact that sometimes, right, and this reminds me of me as a kid, right? I remember when I played basketball, I took everyone that could shoot, rebound, and was like 7 feet tall, but I left the kid that I thought was a scrub on the side, and it was the scrub that destroyed me, because I used my eyes and was that bad of a kid to think like that, and it's about perception, right? I made hey, that person probably that good. So what I think is, and Sarbo said it, right? You have all this talent, and it's great, right? It's like the Lakers, right? When we saw the Lakers on paper this year, you're like, oh yeah, you got this. Or if you remember back in the day, Kobe Bryant with Karl Malone, Gary Payton, you're like, oh my God, this team is gonna just like destroy people. You look at Brooklyn, right? Kevin Garnett, Kyrie Irving, and so forth. I know people probably don't like basketball, but that's the best I can do. Or you look at the Yankees, right? We buy all our championships. Yeah, it looks great on paper. Just like when I have my fantasies, I say, "Oh yeah, I got this guy for nothing," and all of a sudden, week one, everyone breaks their legs, right? And I think that sometimes there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Now, I'm not also saying that it's those people's fault and everything. Like what I'm saying is, sometimes as a leader, sometimes we can fail as leaders, and even though we bring all this talent, we can fail in not being able to appropriate and make the decisions that we need to in a project to take advantage of that talent. Could it have been a situation? Yes or no? I'm not a developer. I'm only talking from a place of management and working with large teams and having to unlock the potential of people, right? So does it look bad that what this report says that people live? Of course it does. Yes. Because you start thinking, because you don't know, and all we can do is speculate, is like, hey, the culture might be bad, the work conditions of this, so forth. We're never going to know. To me as a person, yes, those are important things, and we stuff like that. And I understand that some of this stuff is, ammunition for the fictional war that goes on in the social media spaces, right? But what I look at it, this is, you know what? Whoever stepped in and right the ship, maybe they talk to Daryl and say, hey, look, how can we make this game and make sure it's quality? And I think at the end of the day, as someone who wants to play these amazing games coming from these studios, your key concern is it's great to be concerned by the workplace and stuff, and that's important. But I'm pretty sure your key thing is, hey, is Perfect Dark going to turn out okay if you were looking for this? So Crystal Dynamics comes in and hopefully does that. Can this be used as a learning experience to say, well, hey, maybe we can find a way to change your leadership style, maybe this and that? Sure. Yes. And I think it's important if you, in any place that you are as a leader, if you think of that growth mindset, excuse me, and how you want to evolve as a leader, you look at these things. Okay, I failed, but let me go ahead and right the ship and change and do some things that I'm going to do great. And I think as long as now say, hey, let's maybe build this culture. Let me build our mission statement. So when people come in, they know exactly what it is. I'm Daryl Gallagher. I'm whoever. This is our studio, and this is how our studio functions. And maybe having that transparency is a little bit better. That will allow people to then understand what they're getting into. Sometimes we go to jobs, and I've had jobs before where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, wait, it's not what I thought. But it is also important to be able to listen and know when to when your team is telling you something. And again, I'm not a game developer. I'm approaching this from a fact of having to run a team, having lost teams, because in retail, you got high turnover, right? But what I did with the other leaders is, how do we take the talent that's already there then and pivot? And when we acquire talent, let's make sure that we don't repeat the mistakes that we did before, by implementing things that will make sure that people will be felt heard, they'll be noticed, and promote, of course, camaraderie. Which leads into kind of this final topic, since we have a couple of minutes. Today, we had on Twitter, her name is Fiona Cherbak. And it says, I've been in development and recently became a reality. I've started my new role and lead talent program manager for Xbox Game Studios. Already heads down on several exciting projects. In my new role, I'm driving and supporting a variety of key hiring. Now, this role, it says, is a role, it's a new role that wants to drive and support a variety of hiring programs and initiatives across game studios, Xbox Game Studios, including inclusive hiring, sourcing strategies, talent engagement, and event partnerships. Incredibly pleased to have the world-class leadership of Peter Zetterberg, which I've had the opportunity to meet, amazing person, part of Xbox Games Publishing Studios. David Barker, another gentleman that I met, which is an amazing person. And the outstanding team collaboration with Beth Arnold, Alexandra Lucian, and Christopher Douglas and Tiffany. McDowney. So I guess to close this out, I look at this and I think, could this be a position that also allows them to attract talent and to then help some of these studios to kind of start saying, hey, let's help you if you have an issue with your culture. Let's help you if you have something like this. And then have this person here, Fiona Cherbak, which I would love to have on XBI. And maybe I'll put that on our wish list, on my bucket list. Kind of let us know that, hey, is this actually this to help studios like the initiative? Because here's the thing, it's hard building a studio. And especially think about it. You built the initiative, then you have the pandemic. Think about it now, right? I joined my Xbox team and I've never met them. I'm going to actually meet my team next month. So we still have some growing pains that we're doing virtually to build how we work with each other, which is very different than when you're literally in a place. So now that I've talked a bunch, Sour Blow, what do you think about this? Fiona Cherbak, who is now the Xbox lead talent program manager at Xbox Game Studios.
Yes, I was actually looking into her real quick to know more about her, and she has a great resume and great history in this role. She has worked throughout different stages and different companies, and one of the companies that she actually has worked to is actually Sony Interactive Entertainment, and she worked there for almost 4 years, and she was the talent acquisition lead.
Nice.
For a time. So she worked with Santa Monica, helping them out, etc. And yeah, she has a great resume, and she also worked with other studios within Xbox, which she had then that title in Xbox, and now she has now she's the lead talent programmer manager at Xbox Game Studio. So I'm excited. It's like you said, this might open up other doors, and I think they have I think they're ramping up in different areas where there's gonna be changes that we slowly gonna see.
And people got to understand too, Sour Blow, and sorry to cut you off, that
yes,
and this is because a question Jay Vargas had, is that the other teams they acquired, like Bethesda and the other teams from Obsidian, they've been working for years together, versus bringing people that, again, were heads of other studios and just kind of saying, hey, let's go do this.
yes, yep. That's like that's like grabbing like you said, like one of these super team. Not necessarily it's gonna work, because sometimes these players and have different different objectives. They have different goals, and sometimes these goals don't align. And when they don't align together, it's not gonna work. It's definitely not.
Or you're like Carmelo Anthony for years, that you won't go to the bench, so you won't. I'd say one of the things, that hardest thing as a leader, is how do you again learn to, when you're not ahead of something, how do you follow, and how do you impact for influence without actually having the title of being a leader? I think that's just sometimes a lot of things that people run into. Silent, what about you, man?
I'm pretty stoked about the fact that she has experience on the competition side, right? I think anytime that you can have someone come over from the competition side, maybe it allows you to look at some of that stuff and readdress it with that person and say, oh, I mean, obviously there are some NDAs and stuff like that those people are going to have to sign. So they're not going to be able to say how, how the bread's made or anything like that. But they might be able to provide some insight on how things were functioning maybe in a different environment, right? So I think that's a benefit for the team in the fact that, like, you get a bunch of people all in the exact same company and they're all very geared towards a certain goal and they have a very certain dynamic. But maybe if you get someone from a different company, be it Nintendo, be it Sony, be it something completely different, doesn't even have to be game related, you bring that person in and they can possibly bring a different perspective, right, to what problems you're having or to even just some of the concerns you're having.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And like any project, right? Let's just say once Perfect Dark is complete, you definitely want to do an after kind of assessment to make sure that to make sure that whatever things went wrong, you don't repeat, because again, you don't want to lose talent either. And especially where the initiative was located, you definitely were located there to bring talent. So I think hopefully with this new kind of Xbox seems to do lead, if they decide to build more teams from the ground up, which is not easy, this can help overall. Or again, expand them from whatever we have, the studios, and then slowly bring in new talent. And again, that's how you form little other areas, or you have, Obsidian that's broken up into whatever, as an example, into smaller teams, and you can have them. And, this is team 1, this is team 2, 3, however you want to call them. And we're not ranking them by talent. We're just talking about how you break up a studio and give more stuff. But yeah.
Right. No, and that's something I think, especially with the team, like we were talking about it in the chat a little bit. And like there's a lot of reasons as to, like, going back to what we were just talking about with initiative, there's a lot of reasons as to why people leave, like financially they get a better offer, or there's possibly better benefits or stuff like that. And it's like, as a supervisor myself, I can't fault my team. Like if someone gets a better opportunity, I feel like the people who are upset with those people, if they benefit and they end up going into a different position, it's usually someone that's not moving in their own job titles at the time, right? Like they're stagnant. And so they're frustrated seeing that other people are making progress. And so it's like I can never fault my team. Like if someone gets a better job or something, like good on them. It's like I'll miss having you on the team, but you've got to do what's best for you. So,
and at the end of the day, like I said, I'm hoping just, Perfect Dark is a good game when it comes out, and like everything cleans up. Not everything is the same, and I want to make it clear that, we're not dismissing these things. But I'm also not gonna, we love speculating because, when there's not much going on, right? We gravitate to these things, but I'm not a developer. I don't work at that place, and sometimes, I don't want to insinuate things, So yeah, so that's it. That's our show. I think we did good today, covering all the topics and everything. So let's start with some of these nice. Let's start. Are you guys ready to land the? Not you, Sarah Blow, but I'm ready to land this plane, and I want to thank all the passengers that came on to XBI Flight 117. Thank you for coming in here. But Sour Blow, sell your brand. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us where you're crashing vehicles, and what's up, man?
Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. I'm Sour Blow. You can find me in Twitter, in Xbox, at SourBlow18. And then on YouTube, Sour Blow Gaming, where we have a Spanish podcast every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, I do all sorts of small little videos, but it's a Spanish-speaking channel. We're trying to build the Spanish community there. And that's me.
Yeah, you also have that new little streaming you do with some of the retro gaming too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing little games, little videos. You know, I got a retro gaming things going on Saturdays, and then on Sundays I got like a 20-minute podcast where I just pick any title and I just talk about it for 20 minutes. And that's it.
I heard the next one is Star Citizen for 20 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
No Star Citizen.
Awesome.
Maybe I should talk about it.
No, nobody's gonna go.
That's longer than you need to spend on that.
That video will probably never even exist if you even look it up. Silent, what's up, man? Tell us where we can find you. Tell us, where anyone can just start up a conversation with you or get banished.
Hey, being banished isn't the worst thing in the world. It just means you got more free time, right? No, so you can find me on Xbox, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on YouTube at Silent Cipher. I'm here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, if you ever have anything you want to talk about, like, you can shoot me a message on Twitter, you can shoot me something on Xbox. If you want to play any games on Xbox, I'm around. Like, my work schedule's not as free as it used to be. I definitely am a little busy, more of a weekend guy at this point. But if you ever want to play some Forza, if you want to play something co-op or whatever, or if we ever have a game that we're playing as co-op when we're doing our streamings on Friday, like if we're doing our stream and we have extra spaces,
yes,
more than happy to get some people in from the community. I think that would be awesome.
By the way, can you tell them where they can find us on Friday for the...
Maybe you can tell me, since I don't have my account set up on the Twitch stream yet. It's
XBI.
Oh my god.
We're not being heard, Sour Blow.
Yeah. Help me out, brother.
Okay, well, for
we're
those
leaving
of
to the
you,
gaming Crazy Lou gaming channel.
If you want to follow us in Twitch on Fridays, we try. It's Xbox_International. Did I get it right? Right.
I don't know. You tell us, man.
So, yeah.
You created it, Joanna. So.
Just give
me.
Oh,
I did. I didn't even know. That's how much I stream. I'm not a streamer, but it's always nice to kind of jump in. Like I said, State of Decay was awesome, even though Sour Blow was killed.
State of Decay was good, and I know we've had a bunch of other games come out, but I would love to go back to it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So first, I want to give a shout out, right, to the amazing people that stopped by, just came in to say hi, and stayed with us for the nice full 2 hours. This time we did not go for Iron Lords 3 hours, but we're not the Iron Lords. But thank you to Hard Talk Vin, Stuff Sean, Eternal Umbra, one of the members of Xbox Infinite. We have the Wandering Dutch, of course, Vic the Click, Tony Grasso, the legend. We had, of course, Barely Making Rent. That's a nice little name.
Yeah.
We had Big Bad Mo. Of course, I get it right, unlike Crazy Lou that likes saying it. We also had, I think it's Blacard. Was
Blackard,
there? Yeah. Thank you for coming in, of course. We also, who else we had in the chat that, Jay Vargas, of course. Thank you so much. Always there. We appreciate the support. We want to thank our frequent flyers. And that means everyone.
Dutch?
No, I said Dutch. I said the Wandering Dutch. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I said thank you to the Wandering Dutch, and of course,
you said her talk.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I did hit. Of course. Yes, I did. Of course I did.
Okay.
I said one of the members of Xbox Infinite. I think most likely Risk It for the Biscuits out there killing a dingo. And we don't know where Jedi Peter is at the moment, but shout out to them as well. And Jay Vargas has great taste. We're talking about Boyfriend Dungeon there. Let's go. But besides that, we're excited also to announce that next week our guest is going to be, of course, Kei Asante. He will be coming in as one of our members aboard, XBI Flight 117. We told him that Sour Blow will not be driving, so he's happy to know that Sour Blow will be more of a person sitting in one of the aisles just doing nothing. But yeah, besides that, we're excited to have Kay Asante on an XBI. We always enjoy having guests from around, the world, from different parts of gaming. So pretty awesome. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, big_n_boss. Excuse me, big_n_boss. Woo, that was a mouthful for me. I don't know why at this point. And yes, I'm on there, so you can definitely, shoot me a DM, hit me up in the tweets. I'm always happy there to just interact, talk trash, and overall just have fun with everyone. And then on Tuesdays, I'm on the Double Barrel Gaming channel with, of course, 10K Boom on the Xbox Factor podcast. That's with Pong Soul. You guys might know him. He's on every podcast. He's like the Kevin Bacon of podcasting. And of course, Boxenberger, another awesome from the world of gaming. And then of course, Mav Fun Speculation. So definitely always excited on Tuesdays to hang out with those individuals and those gentlemen to start off my podcasting Tuesday. And then, of course, on Wednesday, I am here along with Silent Cypher in his new car. Hopefully, he lets me drive it one day. And of course, Sour Blow, who always, is terrible at games and always making up stuff. And of course, the traitor, Crazy Lou Gaming. Yes, you tell him I said that. He's a traitor. And then you tell him why. I want him to actually tell you why.
Hey,
that way he can shame him.
I want him to be the banished now. Like, why do I have to be the banished? Can he take that crown now?
He's a traitor. He's a traitor now.
Yeah, he's a traitor now. But you go over there, and you go tell him he's a traitor. Actually, anyone who's leaving the podcast right now, go over to Beyond the Box and put @Crazy Lou traitor. That's it. Just that's everyone's job there. And then of course, Thursday, that's tomorrow, I record with Jasmine and Albert, two of my good friends and colleagues on the Nickel Gaming Show, which then either posts on a Friday evening when Albert's finally done making sure that the show's good to go. So there you can find me on there. As always, thank you so much to everyone who comes in, like I said before, in the chat to hang out with us. We appreciate it. We do have some changes that are coming that we wanted to continue to improve the show. One of the things that I want to do is maybe we have, as we have guests, I want to see if I can create some type of form that I can then put in Twitter. You can click on that link and then you can submit some of your questions. And what we'll do is that we'll filter as many as we can, of course, and then, read out whatever questions you might have. So again, next week is Kay Asante. And what I'll do is once we know some of the gaming news, I'll try my best to put some of the topics. That way, some of you can actually put some of those questions in in this form that I'm going to create, and we can definitely read those out and answer some of those great questions that you've been putting in the chat there. So again, thank you so much. The trader Crazy Lou's not here, so I'm not going to say what he says. I'm just going to say thank you very much for joining us tonight on Xbox International. Have a good night.
You can say it. You can say it differently, though.
You can say it.
No.
You can say, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's rock.
I'm not a traitor. Let's rock. And let's get cool because I'm not a traitor.
And let's not stab our friends in the back. Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.